White chocolate raspberry pistachio cake. This is episode number 2 of my fruit cake series, and today's fruit is raspberry. This cake is made with layers of a fluffy sponge cake sandwiched between the richest and creamiest pistachio white chocolate ganache and tart raspberry filling. This recipe has 3 main components, so without further ado, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to be doing is preparing the sponge cake layers. For that, in a large bowl, you want to whip together 6 egg whites and some lemon juice. This is for stabilizing it, not for flavoring. You're not going to be able to taste the lemon juice at all. You're going to beat this using an electric mixer on high speed until it is frothy. As you can see, my bowl was not too big, so I swapped it out for a larger bowl. And then I continued to beat this, and then once it's frothy, you're going to gradually add in the granulated sugar while beating until stiff peaks form. Now this process takes about 7 to 8 minutes if you use an electric mixer. If you do this by hand, it might take you up to 15 minutes. As you can see here, this is soft peaks. This is not what we want. We're going to keep going until we achieve stiff peaks. And here it is. These are stiff peaks, so now we're going to go ahead and set this aside, and in a separate medium-sized bowl, we're going to combine the remaining ingredients. The full written recipe with tips and tricks and detailed instructions is available on my blog as always, and the link to that will be in the description box below, so make sure to click that to check it out. When it comes to refrigerated ingredients like milk and eggs, make sure to use them at room temperature for the best results. Once you've added in all of the ingredients, give this a mix until everything is fully incorporated. Now into this, we're going to sift in the dry ingredients, which include all-purpose flour and baking powder. It's really important that we sift the dry ingredients in. This is going to help make the cake nice and fluffy. And then I'm just going to add in a pinch of salt before using a whisk to make everything nice and combined. This cake is perfect for parties and get-togethers because not only does it taste amazing, it also looks so great. Trust me, no one is going to believe that you made it all by yourself at home. Add 1/3 of the whipped egg whites or the meringue into the egg yolk mixture, and then you're going to use your spatula to fold this until everything is fully incorporated. What this does is loosens up this egg yolk mixture, which will make it much easier to fold into the rest of the meringue later. You can be a little bit rough when folding at this time, but the next time when we're going to fold this into the remaining meringue, you need to be very gentle. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a bit. Now pour this mixture back into the remaining egg whites, and now very carefully and gently we're going to fold this until everything is fully incorporated and the batter is ready to go. Use the method that I'm doing here in the video. Go from the side and bring the spatula into the center and repeat this until everything is fully incorporated. It's very important that you do not overmix, otherwise you're going to end up with deflated sponge cakes. As you can see, everything is fully incorporated. I'm going to stop mixing, and then we're going to go ahead and bake this. For baking these, I'm not going to be using circular pans. I'm going to be using 1 large cookie sheet or a baking tray. You can use 2 smaller ones also. Just make sure that you can make 3 almost equal layers in the end. Spread the batter out as evenly as possible, and then we're going to go ahead and bake this at 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 17 minutes. Now the time that it's going to take for your cake to bake is really going to depend on the size of your pan. Start checking on it at 15 minutes. Do the toothpicks test, and if it comes out clean, it's ready to go. Once baked, let the cake cool completely, and then you're going to divide this into 3 equal layers. Well, they don't have to be perfectly equal because we're going to cut off the sides and the ends of the cake anyways. I'm using scissors to cut the cake because of how thin they are. This makes it so much easier. When you're done, you want to wrap your cake layers in plastic wrap, and let's move on to the next component. For the white chocolate ganache, we're going to chop up some white chocolate and place that in a heat-proof bowl. Next, in a small saucepan, combine some heavy cream and pistachio paste. You could use homemade or store-bought pistachio paste for this. Give that a mix, and at this point you could also add in some food coloring. I added a few drops of green food coloring. It does look a bit dark, but don't worry, when we whip up the ganache it's going to become lighter. Heat this on medium-low speed for a minute just to combine the pistachio paste into the cream, and then pour that onto your white chocolate. I'm going to place this on a double boiler and give this a mix until everything is fully melted. You could also melt this in the microwave. You can heat it up in 20 to 30 second increments, stirring well between each increment. Once everything is fully incorporated and smooth like this, we're going to go ahead and cover the bowl with some plastic wrap, making sure that the plastic wrap touches the surface of the ganache, and then chill that for an hour. Moving on to the raspberry compote filling. In a medium-sized saucepan, combine together raspberries, fresh or frozen, some lemon juice, some granulated sugar, and vanilla extract. You can adjust the amount of sugar according to how sweet you want the filling to be or how sweet your raspberries are. I like to make this filling a little bit more on the tart side, so I only added about 3 tablespoons. Give this a mix, and then we're going to place this on medium-high speed and cook for about 7 to 8 minutes until the mixture is nice and thick. Once it looks something like this, remove it from the heat, and we're going to transfer this into a separate bowl and then cool that completely. You can cool this in the refrigerator to speed up the process, or you can even make this up to 2 to 3 days ahead. Alright, it's been 1 hour and we're going to peel off the plastic wrap and beat this pistachio ganache until it is fluffy and creamy. I'm using an electric hand mixer, and this takes about 2 to 3 minutes. You could also make the pistachio ganache the day before. Make the ganache, wrap it in plastic wrap, and refrigerate it overnight. The next day, you want to let it sit at room temperature for about an hour before whipping it up. Doesn't that look amazing? This pistachio ganache has such an intense pistachio flavor, and it also smells amazing. Now we're going to make the pistachio milk, which is for soaking the cakes in. All we're going to do is combine some more milk and a little bit more of pistachio paste, and that's it. Although you might be tempted to skip over this step and not make any soak for your cakes, I highly recommend that you don't, because not only does it add flavor, it also keeps the cake soft and moist for days. Now let's start to assemble this cake. We're going to start with the first layer of sponge cake and then brush on some of that pistachio milk. Be generous because this is going to make the cake soft and fluffy, as I said earlier. Now we're going to add in 1/3 of the pistachio ganache and then spread it out using an offset spatula, or you could just use a spoon or a butter knife. You don't need to push the ganache or the filling all the way to the sides of the cake because we're going to cut them off anyways. Next, add on half of the raspberry filling and spread that out as evenly as possible. Next, we're going to add on the second layer of cake and then repeat the exact same process. Add on the final layer of cake and then brush this with pistachio milk as well, and then spread on all of your remaining pistachio ganache. You could decorate the top of the cake however you'd like. What I did was put dollops of the raspberry filling that I saved from earlier and then use a toothpick to swirl it around. Now this was my first time doing the swirling technique, so I think I didn't quite do it right because I don't like how it turned out, but next time I'm probably going to decorate it a little bit differently. You could also decorate this after cutting it and just leave it plain for now. Now we're going to refrigerate this for 1 hour before cutting out the sides. Once the cake is chilled, we're going to go ahead and cut off some of the cake from all 4 sides. This is going to reveal all of those beautiful layers, making them nice and neat. Once you cut off all 4 sides, you can now cut the cake into whatever sized pieces you'd like. I cut mine vertically to make 6 equal rectangular pieces. And there you have it, a white chocolate raspberry pistachio cake. These flavors pair so well together, you guys. It's like a match made in heaven. Creamy and nutty pistachio, the white chocolate cocoa butter taste, and that tart raspberry compote with the fluffy sponge cake. Everything just tastes so good. The written recipe again is available in the description box below. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe for more videos just like this. Like the video if you liked it, and comment down below if you tried the recipe or if there's anything else you'd like me to make. And as always, thank you so much for watching.